Good morning. This is where I slept last night. My first night on the AT. It is a fantastic shelter. I could not have asked for the better for my first night. So this is the upstairs of this shelter. So there's an actual door. And on this side, there are windows, but it's open. You can see that it peeks down to the lower level where the picnic tables are. So it was a good shelter. I ended up sleeping right there where my backpack is. And it was really comfortable. I had, when I woke up after my, first few minutes of sleep, just through the pointy part of the window was a full moon. And shortly after, there was an owl in the still of the night. It was really cool. All right, I'm going downstairs now and gonna get my breakfast. Good morning to everybody. So I came down from my penthouse, which was up here, and there's no one here, and there's no one by the campsite over there either. Getting my breakfast ready. So last night there was a couple who ended up staying here. In fact, they were at the top at the beginning, and then they decided they were going to get up at 3 o'clock and leave by 4. And so they came downstairs here because it would be easier. Oh, my water is boiling. Let's see. We'll turn this on. Wait, disaster. Oh well, that's the learning. I wanted to turn it off, but I turned it on. Okay, let me attend to this. I'll be right back. Well, I made a bit of a mess, but it's just water. I learned something. You gotta learn something every day, right? So next time, take the lid off, or even take the whole pot off, and then turn the propane off. Anyway, I didn't lose much water, or I didn't lose, yeah, I got plenty for coffee. Won't be as good as your coffee jock, but should be hitting the spot. And oats. And I'm able to put the water straight into the bag. These bags are made of like a waxy paperish. And of course it's the gluten-free oats, which is why I have to carry it, because I don't think I can find that in gas station or Dollarama. Anyway, I'm gonna sit down to breakfast now. Talk to you in a little bit. So this is what the privets are like. So it doesn't smell too bad because it's got air coming through the top and at the bottom. Of course, this is where you do your deeds. What's interesting here is that they're composting. So after you're done, you take a handful of these wood bark chip and you toss it in. And you might have a few whilst you're doing your thing. What's important is to obviously bring your own toilet paper and sanitizer. Et le tour est joué. So another thing is, at each of the shelters, there is a book that one can sign and register. So we'll do that. But the Ed Garvey shelter is maintained by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. And I guess Frank Turk is the maintainer. And I have to say thank you very much, Frank. You are doing a outstanding job. Very, very cool. So I'm going to sign the register. But also I wanted to show you yesterday when I registered. I got my tag, obviously, and if we flip it over, I am Flip Flopper 80 hiker number 256. Not too many of us, but quite a few still ahead of me. So anyway, I'm gonna sign the register. Sun is shining, as you can see. It's gonna be a hot day, so I'm wearing my alpaca now, but I'm sure it's gonna come off. But the pack is done, ready to roll. Used a privy, had breakfast. Everything is good. We are ready to go in a few minutes. So, another rookie mistake. I just recorded this long blurb to realize I had not put the record, I hadn't pushed a button. Oh my god. Alright, so let's do this again. Whilst it's flat, I can definitely walk and talk and record. So, what I was saying, what I said, was that yesterday when I was climbing up, it was that 1,000+ feet of elevation gain over 3 miles. That's when I met this couple who are Nobo through hikers. They started in February 1 actually. Their names are trail names. Blackbeard, because he has a black beard, and Serendipity. So we just met as we were climbing up, chatted only very briefly. They were headed for a long day. Anyway, I got to the shelter, and to my nice surprise, they were there. So they decided to change their plan and decided to stay the night. I guess the night before they had a bit of a celebration night in Harper's Ferry with the Zero, and their plan for a big day yesterday just wasn't quite going to happen. So I was really glad to see them there. So, but come to find out, a little later in the evening, a group of 3 Nobos arrived, and they knew them too, so they didn't stay in the shelter, they went and camped. So anyway, so chatted with Blackbeard and Serendipity for a while, and had a really good time, great experience, loving it. In fact, they met on the trail, so they're a new couple. So cool, right? But we were talking about gear, etc. And then he said to me, "Oh yeah, I carry 2 pillows." And I'm like, "Oh, you do?" Well, I, as you know, if you watch my gear review, was going to carry 2 pillows as well. But the last minute I ditched, because I figured I had to try to lower my weight, my total weight, so I ditched it. So when he said he was carrying 2, and he's been hiking for 1,000 mile plus, and their weight overall was the same as me. They have 20 base plus, you know, food, whatever, extra consumable was about 30 as well. So I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll reconsider and get that pillow because it's good for my back to sleep with it. Last night I tried to do the makeshift solution, which is to use one of your other bag and with clothes make a pillow, but it's too round. Didn't really work out that great. So I think whenever I go into a town, I'll probably buy a new pillow. Anyway, and then he pulls out, they were making their beds, and he pulls out this tiny air pump. And I was like, you got a tiny pump? He's like, oh yeah, I love that thing. I was like, I cannot believe it. I said, here's another thing I ditched at the last minute because I was afraid, again, of too much little extras that you can do without. So I said I ditched it. He said that tiny pump was amazing and really doesn't need to be recharged very often either. And just takes seconds to blow your air mattress. So another thing that I may reconsider later and get sent by my dear friend Sunday, who's helping me with my mailbox, or my box that she's going to ship by mail, my food resupply, and then if I need any little extra things like that, she's going to send them to me. So thank you, Sunday. So anyway, it was fun to meet them and to chat. And so this morning, as I mentioned earlier, because they didn't do the miles yesterday, they left super early today, like 3 o'clock in the morning. They were gone, I think, or they were packing up to go. And then their plan was to do about 30 plus miles today and go across what they call the Penmar line. So it's Maryland and Pennsylvania, I think. So I wish them luck. It was really nice to meet them. And if you're watching, 2 of you, good luck. I hope you get to Gitad, and I know you will. So that was good. So the other thing I was going to mention whilst I'm only down, and I don't know if I'm doing a good job recording and walking, so please let me know if it's too shaky. Trying to stay steady, but you know, looking at the rocks and looking at my footsteps, so I'm not sure. But the other thing I was going to mention is that, like last night, I met these 2 guys, and they're left. Oh, go ahead. How are you?
Well.
Good. Are you Nobo?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Good. Good luck.
Thank you.
Keep going. So basically, so this is the first person I've seen all day. Well, it's only early in the day, but this is what's going to happen, is that these Nobos are fast and they're just going to go whiz past me, which is fine. But the bulk of the Nobos are started in early March, and so they're not going to be coming through here. According to the ATC guy yesterday, they're not going to come through here until a couple of weeks. So for the next couple of weeks, I can enjoy the peace and quiet, really. And I will savor that for sure. And all the hikers that I meet over the next 2 weeks, likely all Nobo through hiker, but those ones will have started sometime in February. Like the couple last night started February 1, and they're taking it, they said, leisurely. And so that's, you know, where they are right now with their mileage. Others who started in February, like Michelle, the Mean Machine Michelle, that I've renamed from her frizzle. You're the Mean Machine Michelle today, because you can just book those miles. She started after a couple I met last night. She started on February 14th, and she's already like past Connecticut. In fact, she texted me, good luck, checking in with me on my day 1. It's so amazing. Thank you, Michelle, for doing that. And I think she's thinking she'll be in Vermont today. So she's a machine. So anyway, all that to say that next 2 weeks I'll meet some Nobos, but they'll be passing through. I might see them at the shelters, but likely I will not see them again because they're just marching on and doing big miles and going much faster. So, but I see this as a positive because that means, oh, look at that, that looks like a heart. Lovely. I see it as a positive because it just means I'm going to meet a lot of people. Oh, this is like a little meadow. Ferns. Very nice. Oh, there's more over there too. Probably a little path to a view. There's no blue blaze, so I'm not going. The blue blaze means like a side path to go to something else. Like if you want to take a trail to go to town, or a trail to go for a view point, or for a shelter, because the shelters are always a little bit further. So anyway, I think that's what I wanted to say, and it looks like this time around I pressed the record button. Ha! Okay, don't have to repeat myself again. All right, putting the phone away. So came up this way, and as I was going up, it's a tiny little climb, not much, but enough for me to feel warm. And of course, I saw this beautiful rock here. So it's always good when you see something that you can kind of sit against and then lean your pack. That way you don't have to, you know, swing it, drag it, whatever. So it's kind of like the best thing for your back. So I just took my alpaca off, and now I'm gonna put my pack back up and head back up. Just thought I'd share. I'm back. Again, whilst it's flat, I can talk. So I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who saw the post I made the morning of my departure from Hampton, New Hampshire, on my way to take the train and on my way to get to Harper's Ferry. All of those who saw the post I made, and for those who haven't, I was going to C&J, which is a bus company in Seabrook, to take the bus to get to Boston South Station to take my train to DC and onto Harper's Ferry. And I hear my name after I parked the car, and thank you, Keith, for lending me the BMW whilst I was in Hampton. I left it at the station, and he's going to pick it up with Linda, who was going to give him a lift. So thank you, Linda, as well. But I'm leaving the car park to get into C&J, and I hear my name, Nancy. And I'm like, what? And it's dear friend Karen from Timberland. I hadn't seen since I retired, and she was on her way to California with her son, and she said, she backed her card, and she said, yeah, we'll talk in a second, I'm taking the bus too. So I was like, oh, cool. So anyway, she came out, we talked. Oh, it was so nice. It was, you know, I had butterfly, and I was just thinking, oh, excited, but butterflies, and I don't know, something about seeing Karen, her energy was so incredible. She really fed my soul. It's what I wrote on the post, and really she did. And then we had a great, really great, quick, but a great exchange. And she said she was so happy to see me too, because she says, I love seeing your adventures and how happy you are in retirement. And so anyway, it was fantastic. So I posted on Facebook, and I haven't looked at Facebook, and I probably won't be able to until I get back in town. I want to spare my batteries, so I'm not going to be checking social media so much. But last time I checked, there were so many comments there wishing me well, and it means a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to do that and to wish me well. And Karen, I hope you had a great vacation for the weekend with your son. It was truly amazing to see you. So, and then the other thing I wanted to share too, which is, I think I put it on my video from yesterday or the day before. I can't remember now. But the other extraordinary person was Amy, another Timberland colleague. And Amy I see all the time when I'm in Hampton, because she's part of the early bird beach walking crew. And in fact, Amy posts photo of the sunrise daily, every single day of the year. And whilst I've been living in BC, she's been giving me my fix of my morning sunrise. And I really look forward to seeing that every day. So anyway, whilst I was in Hampton, I was there for a couple of days. Of course, I went for a beach morning sunrise, right? And on the first day we chit-chatted, we talked about Michelle, because of course Michelle's on the trail, and Amy played an amazing trail angel to Michelle while she was in Pennsylvania. And anyway, we chatted about that, and we said, well, see you tomorrow, my last day, my last walk before I leave. So she's like, okay, great. And then when I saw her the next day, we stopped. Thought she stopped to give me a hug, goodbye, good luck. But no, she pulled out of her pocket this board of beautiful bracelets that she made, engraved with amazing inspirational words. And she said, pick one. One of them is going to be yours. And I was like, really? Oh my gosh, this is so nice. So she says, just pick the one that calls to you. And I didn't really take a lot of time to look at everything, because I just thought whatever my heart kind of pointed to, that's the one I'm going to take. And of course the one that I picked was in my heart. And so she's like, it's yours, it's yours. She texted me later and she said, oh, I just realized that the one you picked has number 214 on it. And I was like, yeah, I noticed that. I said, I wondered what the 214 meant. I thought it was your Siri number. You know, this is the 214th one that you've made. Anyway, I was going to ask you, but didn't have time to ask. She texted me the next morning and she said, you know what 214 means? She says, I made that one for Michelle because her start date for the Appalachian Trail is February the 14th. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is too funny. So I said, well, I'm keeping it. And I said, I picked that one for a reason. And that's because Michelle is in my heart for sure to finish, and she will. And by the way, if you want to follow her, she's on YouTube. Her channel is Chasing Blazes, and she is really doing quite amazing. So anyway, of course, Michelle, you're not going to see this until you're done, but when you see it, I was going to keep you in my heart, of course, and now you're in on my hand on the bracelet. So anyway, it was great. So thank you, Amy. That was so thoughtful of you to do that. You're just a kind, very kind human. Those who know you are very fortunate people. So thank you, thank you. So anyway, I think that's it for the thank you now. And I still hope I'm not too wobbly as I film and talk and walk, but anyway, it's the attempt, right? So all right, let's see. I think I've done about 3 miles, so slow going, but you know, I'm stopping and enjoying and being very purposeful, and I got plenty of time today. So but 3 miles is a third of the way already. I'll probably stop at the 4 mile point something where the shelter is, and then that might be my little break. So I will talk to you there. Bye. So just got to a park, and was a huge bonus. I met this couple of Nobo hiker here, and they had lots of tips for me, which is great. And we had a nice break under this magnificent tree. So big. And the bonus, there was a spigot here with water. There's a bathroom to go pee, potty, and there was a trash receptacle so I could get rid of my trash. So it was a really nice rest. All right, onwards I go. And then of course the path is going this way. So I guess we're walking through the grass there. Oh my, that is beautiful, huh? These trees. So I don't know what's down there. There's a tree marked with the blaze that I just came across, but you can see the trunk is one trunk. But you can go up and count how many is out of this trunk. It's pretty amazing. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this big tree. Really beautiful. El fait chaud. It is a little bit hot. I think 32 degrees. So I'm a little red. So I read the map, the far out map a little bit incorrectly. I thought this point on the map was another view, but it's not. It's a access road, so no view. But we're gonna, I came from across the road and I'm gonna continue over here. There was these nice stool here, so decided to take a little rest, get some water, and check out where I am. And from here on, the good thing is I'm going down. No more climb. I'm going down, and I'm only about half a mile to the shelter. And what is the time? It's about, let me see my watch here. It's about 2:30, so I will be there by 3 o'clock. And it's been amazing. It's been a fantastic day. Seen a fair amount of people, a few Nobos, obviously, that are just like passing me, and then a few people out on a day hike, a few people doing sections, and anyway, stopped to talk to most of them who wanted to talk. Not everybody wants to talk, but I'd say most of them were happy to, so stopped in. It's a good reason for a break too, so so it was good. It was good. Little bugs here, so I'm gonna keep going so they don't attack me. So everything's going great on day number 2 on the AT. So I'm here. I arrived a little while back at the Rocky Run shelter, and they have these beautiful tent pads. So I guess it's just a square that they've flattened a little bit, but they got benches for each one of the areas, so that's kind of nice. But I checked the forecast, and it looks like there's some thunder showers coming through, which with the heat that we had today is doesn't surprise me in the least. So surprisingly, I'm deciding to sleep in a shelter again. I never thought I would be sleeping in shelters, actually, that I would be tenting. But right here in Maryland, those shelters are so beautiful. So you saw the one last night from Rocky Run. I mean, from at Garvey, and this one here is just as nice, really. So we're coming down. So the tent sites are a little bit higher than the shelter, so you just go up and a little further away from the shelter, and which is nice. There's a, I don't know if you saw it, to the big fire pit, but this shelter here, I thought I'd be on my own, but this through a hiker, Nobos through hiker from Belgium, actually, he's gonna stay the night. So I'll have at least one more person staying with me, which is always nice. And but here we are coming through, and that is the shelter. So there is also a little bit of a nice fire pit here, and a bench. And early on I went to get water. There's like an old shelter that was there originally, so you go down that path and you could go get the water. And here there's no bear box, but I don't know if you can see, I'll try to zoom. There are some bear poles, so I'm going to do my first bear pole hanging here. So that's cool. And this is the beautiful shelter. So nice. Again, a different story at the top, and so that's where we're both going to park ourselves and sleep. This is where we came from, over there, off the AT trail, on the blue trail. And then here you can see in the distance the privy right there. So there you have it. I'm gonna go take my shoes off, do some stretching, and then chill. Talk later.